Hey everyone, so we're going to share with you some top games here in women's college basketball on Saturday here. There's not many today, there's just Coastal Athletic Association that plays games Fridays and Sundays, except for the unconference play, except for the final week of the season, March 6th, which is March 3rd through the 8th of the regular season. They have games on the 6th and 8th instead of Friday and 7th. And then, because the final day of the regular, they'd have to back to back. So the final day of the regular season is the 8th. So they will play the 6th and the 8th. Like a lot of conferences will do Friday, Sundays, or do Sunday games of a chance, or do like Wednesday, Saturdays, like if they normally do Wednesday, Saturdays. So, man, let's have some future games here. Army, Navy, and Seas Return at 11 a.m. Eastern. We have a televised game, Big Ten Market Eastern, Purdue, Indiana. Indiana should win that one. Purdue's a quad 2 team of the Big Ten. Southern Indiana, Linwood. That's a top OVC bout. That's one of ESPNU. Like sometimes we'll have like featured games from like different conferences, especially like throughout the season. Like they may have contractual obligations with certain conferences. Like, hey, you have to show so many games of this conference on televised networks, whether it's ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, ESPN News, ABC. Some sort of conference, some sort of televised network that ESPN has. They have to show it. You know? You have to, they might have to show like so many women's games, so many men's games. I'm assuming that could be that case. But either way, that's a good battle though. It is 10-5 Southern Indiana at 13-2 Linwood. Linwood's near the top of the conference. What Tennessee Tech. Southern Indiana is in that 5th spot at 10-5, and that's still pretty solid. Still pretty solid Linwood team. Alright, and a good solid one. It is a solid Southern Indiana team as well. Two solid programs. Southern Indiana got the automatic bid. Had the was going to have the automatic bid if they didn't if they were in a transition from D1 D2 to D1. But however, Linton Southern Indiana did not get it. They had to sub for the WNIT berth. So that is somewhat Southern Indiana. This year is not going to make the they could win the conference tournament, but if they don't, they'll probably make it to like the WNIT, win those two tournaments. I can see it. I could see it being. I don't know if they'll make it necessarily, but they'll be in contention. Though I should say, I could see them being in contention at least. Though. We have some other top matchups. We have Texas Marshall, or not Marshall. Texas State taking Arkansas State. Arkansas State is a top team in the conference. Arkansas State is 12-1 in conference play, 16-8 in the Sun, or 16 overall, 12-1 in Sun play. So they were 4-7 in 9 conference. So they'll play really done well. good 68 Scott Roar. Fairleigh Dickinson, this is the top team in the conference. 23-10 overall in the NEC. And if they're right now in favor for to win the NEC title, you play every team twice in the conference in the NEC. We have Stonehill. And Stonehill is second in the Northeast Conference. They are in that bubble. They make the N. You make the N at WNIT. If you're the second, if you're the highest seed, it doesn't make the NCAA tournament. Stonehill is second, and they'll make it right now. They should make it to WNIT. Because they have a qualifier. They have a test against Mercier 6-6, so it's already had 2 off days. Mercier says not had any off days, so I have a little bit of off time. Later in the year, Kent State 16-3 in the MAC, still vying for like a WNIT berth. In that WNIT contention area. We have Ball State 19-5 11-1 MAC play. Vying for 12-20-5 against Eastern Michigan, who was 1-21, 1-11 in MAC play. Eastern Michigan only has 1 win on the year. It was against Xavier. He bombed your Big East team. He had some close losses to Texas State, Alabama. He had Mercy by 11. Dearborn by 7. No. Akron by 5. We had some close wins. But man, that is tough right there. So Ball State should go to but you never know. Buffalo, top team in the MAC. They'll make it to the conference tournament, the NCAA. They'll make it to the top 8 in the conference for the conference MAC tournament. But they won't. If they don't win their NCAA tournament, they should get a WBAT or at the very worst a WNIT berth. So that's a good solid showing for Buffalo this year. That's that 1 Eastern and ESPN Plus. Another 1 Eastern game. Quinnipiac taking on a 21-3, 12-2 in the Metro and Catholic Conference. They're a solid showing. And they are looking to go 21-3 with the win over, I don't know who is, 8-6 in the Metro and Catholic Conference. This should be a good time battle in the Metro and Catholic Conference. We have the Green Bay 15-1 in the Rise League, looking to go 23-5, 16-1 overall. Against Detroit Mercy, 13-10, 70 in Rise, looking to go 500 in Rise League play. So man, that should be a good game should be a good game. Both these teams are 2 solid teams in the Horizon League. I mean, Green Bay is cream and crap, but Detroit Mercy is not a bad team though. They're not bad per se. They're not like the cream, one of the best teams in the Horizon. You got Purdue Fort Wayne that game ahead of Green 16-0. Green Bay at 15-1. Green Bay's only loss was to Purdue Fort Wayne in the conference. Early in the year, in the second conference game, before a few more non-conference games, for 3 more non-conference games. One against training, 2 against Division 1 points. They had some tough wins. They had a good major win, Drake, Norfolk. A good win at DePaul. Tough major loss at home against Renau. Tough loss at Kansas State, below Virginia. They played at home. And then neutral site, and they ended up losing only by 5. So Purdue Fort Wayne, that's a tough one. So they play Purdue Fort Wayne in the final game of the season. But, yeah. A tough game. Not going to be a tough game, but should be. Yeah, if they can't let Detroit Mercy get into it, because Detroit Mercy can definitely keep up with Green Bay. If Green Bay's having an off game, especially Lamar looking in the tops, one of the tops in the conference, looking for that WNIT out of that qualifier spot. If they don't win, try to secure that. And Lamar, if they don't win the conference tournament, and Lamar is going to earn that is second right now, along with Steve F. Austin. Lamar 16, 7, 11, 3, and 7, 3. JT Kenny 16, 16, 7, 17, 3, and 11, 12. That's up Eastern. We have two Big 12 teams actually. West Virginia is a solid team in the Big 12. They're 1959 for Big 12 play. They are fighting for the host in the NCAAs. If they don't get it, they're right now, according to AP poll, if you base up the AP poll, top 16 AP poll is a host. You will see that Cincinnati is right now is in the WBIT or the WNIT, I would say, but West Virginia is a 5 seed if you're from the AP poll, top 8 people. So we have a long one here, fighting for a WNIT berth. I don't know if they'll get the automatic qualifier. Same with Charleston Southern. Charleston Southern takes on Williams Yesha, and Longwood takes on Presbyterian. Longwood, Radford, Gardner Webb, Winthrop, Charleston Southern, all fighting for a WNIT berth. It goes off conference record, so like the team that does win in the NCAA tournament, like if the team that doesn't win the NCAA tournament, which is if I put ones, Radford would get in. If we say Radford was to win the NCAA, High Point would get into the WBIT because they're the 1 seed and the 1 seed. They don't win the conference tournament, get a WBIT berth. And then Longwood would get in right now, but it's a little early to tell. But then we got a big game. South Florida looking for either. I don't think South Florida will get in, as not large in the NCAAs. Most likely, if they don't win their conference tournament, they'll make it into the WBIT. I would assume the WBIT is South Florida right now, especially since the American is a top conference. If South Florida ends up winning, South Florida might need to do a little more work, but I see it. I would assume if they get to 20 wins in your South Florida, it would be in the WBIT. They still have 5 more games to go. They have Charlotte, Memphis, Tulsa. Charlotte, Memphis, Tulsa. Charlotte, Memphis, Tulsa. East Carolina, yes, they have teams on the bottom of the conference. So I could see them get the 20 wins and get in the WBIT pretty handily. Then we have That's a big time game. Howard is trying to not is trying to keep the game at Norfolk. If Norfolk has been dominating, especially as of late. In Howard, they should be able to maintain the WNIT spot, I would assume. Unions Mass is trying to stay at the top of their conference, the Sun Belt, for the automatic qual and get the one seed in their conference to have the easiest path to the NCAAs. And they'll have 14-0 over that'll be 14-0 if they beat Old Dominion, vying for the W for the NCAA, or if they get upsets in the Sun Belt tournament. Which, if they want to beat, they could. The third time they play, if they play a team for the second time, because they don't play everyone the second time, they only play certain teams the second time. So then they will play on it, or if they play someone the third time, will be. Especially if they play Arkansas State, say, they might get upset, especially at neutral site. So we'll see how that goes. James Madison could go to WBIT, but you'd much rather go to NCAAs. And if they do, they could give someone a tough time. UNC Greensboro and Wofford to win the SoCon. So I could see Greensboro now. We'll see though. Greensboro, Wofford. One of those will get probably the WNIT, one will get the NCAA berth. Wofford is second, so UNC Greensboro, if they don't win the NCAA tournament, they get the WBIT berth. So Wofford trying to do what they're buying for the WNIT berth as of now. I could see that's a good solid team. So matchup. Lehigh, Holy Cross, Colgate, they're all good teams, all that. Patriot League. Vying for against the WNIT, WBIT berths. We have here Eastern Illinois is a solid team in the OEC. That's a solid team. But Eastern Illinois is not the top of the conference, but I would have to imagine it. Eastern Illinois. If they keep going pretty well, I would have to assume they get in as an at-large. If they don't get automatically qualified, I would have to assume at least for the WNIT. Some of the top teams, like there's with like if they get like 20 wins, especially some of these majors with like 20 wins of the OVC. Like there's other ones like Lindenwood, Southern Indiana, that way Tennessee Tech, Lindenwood. If one of those, they might make it to WBIT with the 20 wins. Eastern is could be at the 21 mark. But I mean, actually, they could. They'd have to win all 5 though in a row, and then but if they don't make it to 20 wins, they'll probably just be in the WNIT. But I could see them being in the WNIT though pretty easily though. It is a good solid team, especially in conference play. Norfolk, like I said, they're top in the MEAC. To 21 for in the MEAC, so. And they're playing their teams, the MEAC teams, for a second time this season. There's only 8 teams in MEAC. So. Then we have Toledo, a good team in the MEAC, though. Probably going into like the WNIT, WBIT. I could see that pretty easily. Fairfield, they're trying for 15 against Manhattan. They still got a few games left in their seasons. A few weeks to go in their season, but Fairfield's got 6 games left actually. 3 weeks left on their season. but they do have an off day on that 22nd. That's their off day, is the 22nd. Because there's some teams that are getting behind, like Mount St. Mary's, Canisius, and St. Peter's, Sacred Heart. Some of them teams have an extra game they have to make up, so we will see how that goes. But I could see those teams be a 15-0, or all those teams will play well. Those teams at 14 or 14 games right now will have a game of play. I'm assuming they might do that, so every team has plays then. So it's like you know what I mean. And that should be a good game. You have Mount St. Mary's vying for a top spot, and not a top spot, but like a top 4 spot. You don't want to have to play that first round of the Metrolink at that conference tournament. You don't want to have to play that first round. And Mount St. Mary's is trying their best not to have to. And then we have Cleveland State vying for that 3rd spot. Cleveland State, I could see going for the NIT berth if Green Bay doesn't make it into the NCAAs. I could see Green Bay make it to the WBIT. Green Bay should. Although Green Bay and Cleveland State could make it to the WNIT as well. Proof Wayne is just at 15 in the Horizon League. They still got 5 more games to go. You doing the Horizon playing Wednesday and Saturday. No, actually they play Thursday and then Sunday. And then it's Thursday and Saturday. So they have a few tougher opponents. They got Cleveland State, Green Bay. And they got at Green Bay, and they survived over Green Bay the first time by a point at home. So we'll see how that goes. That should be a good game. Proof from Green Bay. Cleveland State, Proof from me. That's a big, solid matchup, big time matchup. For the top 3, we have Central Arkansas. They're a game behind. They're a game behind Florida Gulf Coast. So Central Arkansas is vying at least for the WNIT berth, which they should get it. They should get it. Although if it depends if they can they get the conference tournament over Florida Gulf Coast. We'll see how that goes. Steve Austin fighting for the WNIT berth, and I could see that getting it, or Lamar, one of those teams getting it. Or I could see both going. Personally, Steve Austin is, despite their conference record, 11-4, meaning like second, third spot. They have like a 21-5 record. They have a solid record overall, so I could see them still making it. Southeastern Indiana has a good test against Nichols. Southeastern Indiana is 15-0 in the Southland. They had a Lamar one they were unbeaten. They played Lamar and they beat them. And Lamar fell for a little bit. Now they're back. Lamar's back to winning ways, but Southeastern Indiana is still a tough team. We'll see if they can, beat Nichols. And that's a good game. Liberty is a good team. They're taking on UTEP. Tennessee Tech, and they're fighting for the WNIT berth. I would say Tennessee Tech is a top team over Southeast Missouri State. That should be a good test, or not, but Tennessee Tech should win that one, but can't take some of these teams lightly. Baylor, top 25 team, or Texas Tech. Baylor ended up being West Virginia. So Baylor can beat Texas Tech. At Texas Tech, that should be a Baylor should be able to move up in the AP top 25 bowl. Maybe even inside the top 20. Or, and, and then, with only a few games left of the season, they'll be able to, have some tests. I mean, they have some tests in the conference tournament, but they should be. I don't know if they'll host. Right now, they're on the bubble of like a 6-7 seed, according to people. But they should have host. They could host. I could see it. And then we have Texas Southern at their first loss in conference to Southern yesterday. Can Texas Southern bounce back against Grambling? That's going to be a huge test to see if Texas Southern can bounce back after a loss. They've never experienced a conference loss this season. Yeah, and that would be it. Yeah, it's going to be huge, and see if they can bounce back and be at 12-1. North Texas, UTS, North Texas against Tulsa, Memphis, UTSA. Those are two big tests for teams like North Texas for UTSA. Well, not in terms of their opponents they're playing, but they're tougher. They're tests that they need to stay in your top of the conference, top 3 in the conference. You do not want to be that 4 fall in a game. You don't need to fall, especially for the postseason tournament. So, the WBIT, the WNIT, the NCAA's conference tournament scene will help you. Murray State, Illinois State. Murray State, Illinois State tested for conference tournament scene. That's big. Like WBIT, WNIT scene for the poll market. I'll say, to be win that one. If you want to win that one, and you want to be able to host that matchup if you play in the conference tournament in the semis, which it could be a semi matchup because America East's conference tournament, they're home higher seed hosts, and you want to host that conference tournament championship semifinal. You want to host your championship, but you want to put yourself a game behind hosting it. If for some reason I'll believe on you, you know what I mean? And for some reason you could clinch it. You want to be able to clinch it. And we have St. Mary's, Gonzaga, and matchups that could determine conference tournament things. Especially Gonzaga, WBIT, WNIT berth. There's only going to be one team probably out of the NCAA's for the West Coast Conference. So you want to be able to put yourself in contention. To be an NCAA tournament. Obviously you want to conference tournament scene, but if you don't make that, you want to be able to be in the postseason tournaments, which should be good on teams in the WBIT, WNIT from the West Coast Conference. In the Mountain West, it should be in WNIT, but this is a must-win over a good big must-win game over San Jose State. UT Arlington coming off that upset loss yesterday to California Baptist. Can they knock off Grand Canyon on the road? It's the Grand Canyon and Phoenix, Arizona at Grand Canyon University. So be tough. 20 is so Grand Canyon is one of the best in the majors. 23-2, 10-0. Can they improve to 24-2 and 12-1? See, Grand Canyon is a solid team. Jackson State's one of those teams that's like WNIT worthy. If they, because if Texas wins the conference tournament. However, Jackson State will not probably most likely will not make it to WBAT if they don't win their conference tournament. This is a 1 seed, so we need to keep pace to at least get the bid for the SWAC. The one bid SWAC in the WNIT for the second postseason bid for the SWAC. And then we have Montana State. Can they improve to 14 on Big Sky? 24-2. That would be a solid win for them. Need to win that they want to have. Probably should get should be getting, but Northern Arizona 21-6. If they go 21-6, 12-2 in Big Sky, they'll be in good contention for the WNIT berth for the Big Sky. That would be a huge one to get, which they should get if they win, or if Montana State wins the conference tournament. See, Florida Gulf Coast, a good game against Stetson. Big. So can they improve to 14-2 or 14-0? Excuse me, 14-0, 23-3. So that would be a huge win if they could get that. Troy was a team. Last year, Troy got into the WNIT, and Troy made it to the Fab Four, losing to the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Minnesota was not able to host that game. They were able to host the early rounds, but they weren't able to host the later rounds for whatever reason. But Troy, I could see Troy making it to WNIT again, especially when they did a really good showing in the WNIT. And I would think the WNIT would want them back, if they did a good showing. If they had a good showing, keep them in there, since they're WNIT worthy, keep them in there, fight against other WNIT teams for competitive games, good competitive games, postseasons. And Troy hosts that one because Minnesota was able to host. Otherwise Minnesota would have been granted the WNIT host by the WNIT committee, as they were the better team. And then we have Kansas State, Oklahoma State, top teams in the Big 12 battling UCF and BYU respectively. Those Kansas State, Oklahoma State need must wins. Kansas State needs that win against UCF to stay in the top 16 and be fourth seed. Oklahoma State is a 5 CFU. Basically, people just barely a 5. Last 5, and so they need to win over BYU to keep the muscles of 5 at least. That would be a good game. Big game, BYU. If they win that one, BYU wants it. They want to be able to get into WNIT at least. BYU did not even make it to any postseason tournament last year, so BYU, if they can make it to WNIT this year at least, that'd be a good game, a good building experience, a good learning experience for that program after the retirement of their longtime women's basketball head coach. And Drake and Belmont, 2 solid WNIT teams. Missouri Valley looks like there's going to be 1 bid league in the NCAA, so getting some bids in the WNIT in the form of Drake Belmont, that would really help, and that would probably, that's good, so they're just playing good competition in their own conference and what they could expect in postseason tournaments. We have Santa Clara Pacific, San Diego, or Santa Clara Pacific, Santa Clara San Diego, Pacific, and San Francisco. But Santa Clara Pacific, San Francisco, they're all battling for conference tournament seeding. They're near the top of their conference. Well, not near the top, but like they are in like the mid pack, just kind of the top of their conference, I guess. Like they're second, third, and actually, no. Let's see here. No, they are. They could vie for that fourth spot though. They're not in this top three, but they could vie for the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth. So they're all in that range, and you don't want to be in that. Like the lower you are, the more games you have to play. So it's like but you still have tough tests. You know what I mean? You still do, so you want to be able to win some, improve up your standings to the top four. Upstate, they want to be able to be in the top four. Right now they're on the edge of the top four, but the edge of it, but they want to hold it against shorter seat. LA&M wants to stay in that, get a bye to the quarterfinal round. They want to get by to the quarterfinal round. Alabama A&M does, and they looks like they're good condition to do that, but they just don't have to play, and I don't blame them. Play in the first round, and I don't blame them. Princeton wants to stay top of the Ivy against Yale, which they should. I don't see no reason why they won't beat Yale. UC San Diego, UC Davis, that's a big game for seeding, especially in the quarterfinals. Like those two teams may have to play each other again in the quarterfinals because they're so close. UC right, UC right. That's a big game, big time test for those two teams. Hawaii is 18-6, 12-2 in the Big West, while UC right is 10-3, 16-7. So that's a solid game. So those two teams are both battling out for the for NCAA tournament bid, or like in conference tournament seeding. Win, loser, there might only be one team on Big West that makes it in W19, but you want to be able to put yourself in that second spot. If you don't win the NCAA tournament, you get the W19 berth, and both teams put themselves in good contention on both so far. Washington State, that's a top now. Portland is second in the West Coast Conference. Washington State's third. That's a solid matchup. Winner will be winner. Will put themselves in a better place for the conference tournament. They're pretty much still locked up in that 2-3. So Washington State is in the 3. Washington State would still be a 3, but could put them in danger on the 4th. If Portland was to lose, it wouldn't matter as much because they still might be the second seed, but they still want to stay in the top spot. They still want to be number 2. Siena in the Metro Athletic Conference. They are in one of the top teams in their conference. Not this first or second team, but still high up there. So not bad. You do want to avoid playing in like a tougher matchup in the quarters. You want to play that 4-5 quarter matchup. Seen as a way that Winthrop High Point. That's a good matchup. High Point is the top team in the conference. Winthrop is fighting for that WNIT berth in like a higher spot in the conference tournament. And High Point, so it's fighting for the number 1 seed in the conference tournament. So you get the easiest path to the Big South tournament. So and there you have it. So North Dakota State is trying for second place in the conference. Oral Roberts is in the second right now. but they're still trying to stay tied with or Roberts, because if or Roberts does win, or Roberts slips up, depending on if North Dakota does North Dakota State have the tiebreaker? Yes, they actually do have the tiebreaker over Roberts, and they play Roberts again. So if they keep pace, they're game. If they keep pace with Roberts, and if the game against Roberts will probably decide things on the 22nd. So see, they just need to keep pace with Roberts, and then the game in the 22nd will matter for both teams. Will matter anyways, but. North Dakota State needs to keep pace with Roberts and then Peter Roberts on next week, Saturday. Not Saturday, but the 22nd. And if they do, they'll make it to the WNT if they win their conference through, which they absolutely want to. Or Roberts could make it to the WNT. I could personally, I could see both Roberts and North Dakota State make it to the WNT. But we'll see.